So we've had a bit of a drama already. We're already on lock 1. And this is the guy himself, Josiah Wedgwood. And have a look at the size of his feet. And you know what they say about that? Huge! Ahoy there! If you're new to the channel, I'm Heidi and I live and work aboard my canal boat home, the Rum Wench. I also have a little camper van called Polly, and this is my little travelling companion Bonny, who's a little rescue that feels she can take on the world. So if you want to watch a middle-aged woman and a dog faffing about, then join us on our weekly quest in search of adventure, fun and giggles. So I was meant to be moving today, but the fuel boat's due, and you never want to miss a fuel boat. They deliver all our coal and diesel. Yeah, and it's absolutely freezing. My fire's in 24/7 at the moment, so I'm going through coal quite fast. Yeah, so don't want to miss him. But whilst I'm waiting here, I'm not going to waste a day. I'm going to have a little walk round and tell you a little bit about this place, because Stone is meant to be the birthplace of the Trent and Mersey Canal. So let's go and find out why. The Trent and Mersey Canal is 93 miles long and contains 76 locks and quite a few tunnels, and it only took 11 years to build. And it also connects up with 6 other canals. How awesome is that? And the Trent and Mersey Canal is another one of James Brindley's masterpieces. So I mentioned earlier that Stone was the birthplace of the Trent and Mersey Canal, but it didn't actually start here. However, all the planning and all the meetings happened in the town. So during one of these meetings in Stone, James Brindley and Josiah Wedgwood, yes, Mr. Wedgwood, that controls all the potteries, makes all that lovely stuff, they were sat there having a brew. And Mr. Wedgwood said, James, all my potteries, when it's going by horse and cart across the land and all these little dirt tracks, it's getting cracked and broken. I think we should have a canal that goes from my factory all the way down to all these wonderful places, and especially to the River Mersey, so I can ship it everywhere. And James said, yeah, sure, get us another brew and we'll think about it. So they sat down with a coffee and came up with the plan. So then all the potteries were being delivered by boat, and they could be shipped out to much more destinations and not get as broken as they were by horse and cart. So it wasn't exactly like that word for word, but that's the basics of the story. And when the Trent and Mersey Canal was being built, it was actually Mr. Wedgwood that stuck his shovel in the hole and did the first dig. Yeah, he made the first cut. Oh, isn't that cute? Anyway, we're back at the boat now, but what a gorgeous, quirky little town with lots of history. I love it. So right on cue, the fuel boat came, and I stocked up on 8 bags of coal and a full tank of diesel. You don't want to be running out of coal, especially this time of year, because I keep my fire in 24/7 to keep the boat nice and toasty warm. And bless them, the coal boats, they work in all weathers. Good morning everyone, I'm leaving Stone today. I've got a few locks to get up. I've got Nikki up with Ria, so we'll probably help each other on these locks, make it a bit quicker. So this is the first lock of the day, so I'm just going to moor up on the lock landing and go and set it. And once the lock was drained and the gates were open, I went in. So apparently this pub here in Stone is in the Guinness Book of Records for the most differing floor levels in a public house. So imagine walking around that when you've had a few too many. So we've had a bit of a drama already. We're already on lock 1 and I've got through all right. Went back to help Nikki and her boat's not starting. It's stalled in the lock. There's nothing around the weed hatch, so she thinks she might run out of diesel. And these lovely people here on the hire boat are waiting very patiently whilst Nikki tries to faff about. So I've been and got my jerry can out of my engine room and given her 20 litres of diesel, but obviously she still needs to bleed it. So it's sounding quite healthy. Oh no, no it's not. Oh, yeah, it is again. Oh. Yeah, you see, this is the thing, you see, people say to me, Heidi, you know, what are you going to do today? What's going to happen? Oh, there we go. And I never have any idea what's going to happen in my day, who I'm going to meet, or anything like that. But anyway, it sounds like she's up and running.
Here's a top tip for you, everyone. Fill up with diesel when the diesel boat comes past.
She didn't fill up with diesel when the diesel boat come past because she doesn't get out of bed till about 10:30, 11. Me and Bonny have normally had our walk by then. I've done all my badge orders. Yeah, Nikki's normally still in her pyjamas when I go knocking on for a coffee. Oh. Anyway, there's diesel up here, up this next lock, so hopefully she can fill up there.
Well done. So she owes you a jerry can of diesel.
She does. Yeah. At today's prices.
Oh.
You just never know what's going to happen. But the people on that hire boat then were so lovely, asking if we needed any help, what could they do. So that's great. So hopefully now we can stop at there's a wharf up here, we think, and they might sell diesel. So she's filled up with my jerry can for now, but she's going to need more. See, never leave it go low. My dad taught me that. My dad said, Heidi, never let your diesel tank go so low because you get condensation in your tank and also it drags all the sludgy bit at the bottom through your engine. Yeah, so wise words, Nikki, wise words. She looks a bit armless and she's got a big slit up the front as well. Oh. So Nikki can't get moored up there because of all the hire boats, so she's going to ring them and see if they'll sell her some diesel. Yeah, but she's put 20 odd litres in her mine, so she should be alright, at least for a couple of days. But we don't know where the next place is, so we'd rather get it here if we can. So I left Nikki to it and I carried on going to get through the next few locks. I do love seeing all the old mills and that used to be here, like the ale one there, Stone Ales. Yeah, it just shows that back in the day, these canals were used for transporting all the goods. And it was like hectic it was. All the boats busy carrying all the cargo. Wonderful. I always love it when I'm single-handing a lock and there's a boat then waiting to come down. It makes it so much easier because I don't have to shut my own gates. Yeah. Have a fabulous time, thank you. Oh, that lovely couple then, they just helped me finish my lock off. And they've only just bought their boat, they've only been on it a few months and they're all excited by it all. You know, I'm going to crack on to this next lock now and then I'm going to moor up temporarily, get Bonny off so she can have a wee in that and wait for Nikki. So I'm just going to moor up just past this lock landing and then have a little walk down, shut the gates and go and help Nikki up these locks so we're caught up and travelling together again. So that's 4 of the locks out of the way. I've ended up doing a load of them twice because I helped Nikki up, trying to get her to catch up, but she's up my rear now. Bonny's been off, she's had a little walk and a wee and she's sat here now on the roof with the jumper on. You happy? So I normally put Bonny inside when I'm single-handing locks, but I'm going to try her on the roof on the next lock. And it was a perfect opportunity to do so because a fellow boater helped me up the lock, which meant I could keep my eye on little Bonny. You good as gold then, Bonny. You were good as gold, weren't you? Cheers, Colin. So I continued on then to the next lock to single hand this one and to see how Bonny gets on with just being on the roof completely on her own. Good girl, Bonny, good girl. Oh, she's such a good girl. So now just to cruise the boat out of the lock and shut the gates and drop the paddles. But you'll notice here now that I actually lost my chimney cap. It was when I was climbing onto my roof. Yeah, I knocked it in with my bum. But that's now lost forever into Davy Jones's locker. So it was doing a similar stunt to this that knocked off my chimney cap. You a really good girl, eh? You're so good. Good as gold. So this is the last lock of the day and Nikki's doing it for me. She's helping me up and then I'll help her do the next one. The thing is though, it's not the locks doing the locks themselves, climbing the ladders, opening a stiff paddle. That isn't the hard bit. The hard bit is you mooring up, walking down, setting the lock, coming back to your boat. It's all that faffing. And I seem like I'm moaning, but I'm not moaning. I absolutely adore it. It's fresh air, it's exercise, so I do enjoy it. But it's quite a long time. It takes ages. All that on the front of my boat. Lockjes. Foam. So we're on our way now, and after all those locks, just one casualty, and that was my chimney hat, my chimney knob, whatever it was, that stops the rain going down there when it's not lit. Yeah, I'll have to get another. Knocked it off with my bum, but that's not so bad. So now we're going to hopefully now try and get to Barlaston today, and more up there. But I do love the Trent and Mersey Canal. There's so much history around it, and all the old buildings from back in the day when they were delivering and receiving cargo. So as I said before, the Trent and Mersey Canal's main purpose when it was built was to transfer the potteries because they were getting all broken going by horse and cart back in olden days. But obviously then the canal didn't just transport potteries, it also transported coal and ales. Yeah, imagine being on that one. I'll have a quick drink. I would have loved that job. But then soon after, the canals were replaced by the railway line, which is just running alongside here. But it was much safer transporting the potteries via boat than it was horse and cart. But you wouldn't want it to bash into a lock then, would you? Imagine that, all that cargo on board, smash, bang, wallop. Yeah. Oh, but hopefully, over the next few days with the cruising, we'll get through to near Stoke, and there's so many potteries around there, and it'd be nice to show you a little bit of that. I'm so proud of Bonny today because she's been fantastic. Can you see me over her ears? Yeah, she's been so good with me doing them locks. Not batted an eyelid, she wasn't stressed, she could see me, so everything was good. Just look at this house. This is an amazing house. It's got its own mooring. It's even got locks in the garden. That's so cool, isn't it? Love it. Beautiful. So this pub here on the left now is owned by an actor called Neil Morrissey. It's called the Plume of Feathers. Gorgeous boat there then. Yeah, I don't tend to go in pubs so much nowadays. Yeah, I'm too old. Yeah. And when I'm going for a meal or I'm meeting loads of friends, but when I'm on my own or just with Nick, we're both skint. We're Would rather have a rum on the boat. Yeah, sign of the times now, isn't it? Not many people have money this day and age to go out drinking. But I do like to go and meet up with friends in a pub and have a few then. You know, it's a treat, isn't it? It's a treat. Can't just do it willy-nilly. So I can see Nikki's mooring up now, so I'll just pull in here because that's enough for today. So I can't go right up Nikki's behind because there's actually a winding hole between her boat and my boat, but this will do fine. So just moored myself up now here at Barlaston, and it's bloody freezing. It's gone really cold. Got nipples like bullets. Even the Rum Wench is cold. Well, this will do now for a couple of days. Then I'll be cracking on through to the potteries and through Stoke. I think Bonny's had enough as well. She wants to get in. Look at her. She's on the gunwales. Can you see her? Yeah, you ready to go in now, Bonny? Ready to go? Look at her, bless her. Bye.
Take care, bye-bye.
So I was just talking to a lovely guy and I've nicked his spot. I've moved up because I wanted the more solar on my solar panels, free electric and all that. But he's only had his boat a few weeks, so he's all excited by it. And I just remember what it felt like when I got mine. Well, I'm still like that now. Still get excited. But yeah, just a really lovely guy. I'm right near the Canada geese now, but I am getting solar, so that's brilliant. Ooh. So it's really windy today. We were meant to be cruising and getting to Stoke, but it's 41 mile an hour winds, so there's no way it's single-handers will even attempt that. So, but it is a nice bright day. It's a cold day and it's very windy, but it's lovely and bright, so we're going to go for a little bit of an adventure, go for a walk. Yeah, blow the cobwebs away. Nikki's coming to join us on this very windy walk, but it's good to get out in the fresh air. So down in my book, this bridge is called Wedgwood Bridge. Wedgwood after Josiah Wedgwood and all the Wedgwood potteries. So let's have a little explore and see where it goes. So all this area that we're walking in now is the Wedgwood estate. So everything, all the titles of names of the buildings and the streets all have Wedgwood in the title. So this was probably, you know, where all his workers lived and all that, but all this surrounding area is all the Wedgwood estate, basically. And we're hoping to come across the Wedgwood factory. So if you remember, James Brindley and Josiah Wedgwood came up with the plan to open the Trent and Mersey Canal over a coffee one morning, and this drive is named after him. Yeah, brilliant. So everything around it is all pointing to Wedgwoods. Oh, bloody hell, my knees. Oh. And at last, there it was, the Wedgwood factory, or World of Wedgwood as it's known. So apparently Utoria, built back in 1769, was the pioneering village built by Josiah Wedgwood for all his workers. How cool's that, eh? Imagine that. And he built gardens, houses, and because it had plentiful green space, it was known as the factory in the garden. And this is the guy himself, Josiah Wedgwood, and have a look at the size of his feet. And you know what they say about that? It's huge. So I think it's about time we had a look at all this Wedgwood pottery. Why is it so special? So I've come inside here now to look at some of the Wedgwood potteries, and look at this, some of these plates are over £200 a plate. Yeah, I smash all my stuff, I drop it on the floor, it falls off the side when I'm going in the locks. It's over £200 for a plate. Wow. Yeah, but it's gorgeous. Have you got any Wedgwood? Yeah, let me know in the comments. These ones are a bit cheaper because they're only £50 each. Yeah, so absolutely stunning and gorgeous, but I'm sorry Mr Wedgwood, I have to buy all my stuff from B&M Bargains. Yeah, just smash it. So after looking around the pottery, it was time to get a drink. So I've come into this little distillery place because it mostly sells gin, but I've just noticed they've got a bottle of spiced rum. Look at this. Gorgeous. And I'm going to talk to Torrin in a minute to tell us a little bit about this place.
Everything about our company is about supporting local businesses. All our candles are from local candle makers. Our bottles are made from a local ceramics company, and then we make our gin here. This is where our distillery is based, and this is where we produce everything. And our founders of Six Towns are Latvian, and their family comes from a big line of pottery and gin makers. So they came to Stoke in the early 2000s to set up their business. And from there we've really branded ourselves on the history of Stoke. That's why we've got our gins made from the pot bank kiln shapes. In Staffordshire, Staffordshire is made up of 6 towns and has a big pottery culture behind it. There was the hub for all ceramic in England.
And what I really love is all these bottles are made out of pottery, not glass or plastic like most things, but pottery, and they're all painted. So they've got like a sort of weird look about them, but aren't they gorgeous? And they're supporting a local business by having them put into these bottles. I just like that. I like businesses that support other businesses. That's great, isn't it?
So instead of people throwing away our ceramic bottles, they can bring them back here for a refill for £10 off, so they have a bottle for life.
So this is a little bit naughty, but we're actually having a rum coffee, and it's only 11:45. Cheers, Nick.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, woohoo! But it don't half warm you up inside. Woo-hoo! So I've had a lovely afternoon going around the Wedgwood estate, and the highlight for me was going to that 6 Towns distillery. Yeah, I just think it was quirky in there, and I love the fact that they're really keen to promote local business. I thought that was fantastic, which leads me on, because if you remember in last week's video, I showed a bit of Sally and what she trades in on her boat and also at land events. She does all her own pottery. Well, since showing that video, Sally's messaged me to say that she's made quite a few sales on her website and people have been contacting her on Facebook. So I think that's amazing. That is just the best outcome that could happen. Which leads me on actually now today is I've been working with a local artist, Michelle. Now, I've known Michelle since I had my first boat back in 2010, 2011. And she's just amazing. And she's going to be doing a bit of a portrait of Bonny. So I wanted her to send me like her progress as it's going along so I could show it to you guys, because I think you'd be fascinated by watching it, because she's so talented and she draws every single hair on the heads when she's doing these portraits. So I'm going to send you over now and show you what Michelle sent me. Now obviously she's not got a professional camera or anything, she's just using her phone, so it's a bit shaky, but it will hopefully show you how talented she is. So have a look at this.
Heidi's told me to tell you about myself. Go from towns to villages, stopping off, seeing if I can pick up any commissions for artonboard.co.uk. I'll put things in my window just to get you to look at my work, and a big sign. I am an artist on a boat. I do pet portraits. This is one that I'm doing for Heidi, called Bonny. So you can see the photograph there, which is quite good. So I'm adding detail, which this is watercolour. I'm not very good at filming, but I'll give you as much information as possible. So this is the first stages that I'm coming to with this. I've got a long way to go. So I'm just adding all the detail I can see before I add most of the colour. And this bit here, I need to get this down here. I want to make sure that everything's right before I actually, you know, put the colour in. It helps just to refine all the bits that make it 3D, because I like detail. I love doing birds as well. Portrait of me. This is a horse that I'm doing at the moment for somebody in the US. That's the same sort of thing where, you know, I'll get all the detail in and then I'll go for the colour. I don't know what else to tell you, but keep a check on me and hopefully we'll have it finished by Christmas. But I'm going to keep sending progress as this is coming on, so that Heidi can see the results of Bonny growing in the stages that I do with the watercolour.
So isn't she amazing? So I'm going to be showing Bonny's portrait progressing over the next few weeks. Anyway, I'm going to take Bonny out now, so I'll see you in the morning. How good is this? How good is this? So I've just been talking to these really lovely dog walkers. Bonny was a right bugger with them. She was launching and barking, and they've stopped and allowed them to sniff. They've been really good to allow Bonny to help. Well, it's helping with the socialising, isn't it? Anyway, whilst I was doing all that, this lovely lady here, Sandy, has just moored up. She's another single-handed female boater on a narrowboat George. So how long have you been doing it then, Sandy?
Started September last year, first day of constant cruising, had an engine room fire, but put it out. I know now how to put out a fire on a boat. Got that all sorted out, new electrics, and yeah, been out a year now. So absolutely loving it.
I want to show you Sandy's tiller pin. Have a look at this. Tell us now a little bit about your sexy mermaid.
My sexy mermaid. She's called Mitzi. I named her Mitzi from the actress who played the lead in South Pacific, Mitzi Gaynor. The main reason that I got Mitzi and I got a mermaid is a few weeks beforehand I fell in the water and a lot of people were laughing at me from a perspective of now a proper boater, but I'm also now a mermaid, so it had to be that one.
So Mitzi the mermaid, I'll tell you what though, Sandy, she doesn't half look cold.
She does look a bit chilly.
So how lovely is this? So in a row now, so we've got Nikki in the front, we've got Sandy behind and I'm in the middle. Yeah, rose between two thorns. Yeah, and we're all solo female boaters. How amazing is that? Single-handing ourselves around the cut, and we've all got ourselves here now just moored up together. That's lovely. See, women, we look out for each other, don't we, Sandy?
We do.
And we help each other. It's a lovely, wonderful lifestyle. So we're actually going to have a little bit of this today from Captain Glenn. I got this ages ago. I absolutely love it. This is the sour berry, and I think there's a little bit left. And just whilst I am pouring this, a massive shout out to all those that bought me a coffee this week. Thank you so much. It really does help. Look at that, it's purple. I know it's not meths. Loads of people said last time, is that meths? So cheers everybody. Woohoo! It is harsh, that. It's very sour and you can actually feel it burn when it goes down, but whoa, it doesn't half warm you up. So can I just say just a massive thank you to all of you people for watching, all those that have bought badges, all those that last week helped support Sally with the pottery. It does just mean so much to small businesses basically, because I know not so much Christmas time, I'm always quite busy Christmas, but January, February is always a killer for most boat traders because they don't get much work because it's too damp and wet to be trading outside. All the Christmas markets are over. So I do know that most narrowboat traders do struggle that time of the year. So just thank you for supporting the small businesses. And hopefully as well, now that Michelle has shown all her work, Michelle might get some commissions as well because she is so talented. I know she's quite busy on the run up to Christmas, but I do know she has availability after Christmas. Yeah, so if anybody just want a portrait doing, yeah, have a look at her work. She's just amazing. So anyway, that's it for this week. So please take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching to this far. Anyway, and also just a massive shout out to my patrons who are just there all the time with their kind words, and they're just lovely. Thanks so much, patrons. So take care, everyone.